In this video, we are going to go over a couple different ways outside of normal dry fire that makes training without ammo a little bit better. Specifically, we're going to talk about the Mantis Blackbeard X and KWA airsoft rifles. We'll cover why I think both are pretty solid forms of dry fire practice and how I use them so you can determine if it would be something that could fit your needs. I do believe in full transparency in all of my reviews, so onto my full disclosure, I've been eager to test out different dry fire options for some time, especially after using the Mantis Blackbeard X and a couple KWA airsoft guns at SHOT Show. So I reached out to both of them, and after connecting with both their marketing teams, they agreed to send me both a Blackbeard X, which was the product I personally wanted to review, and a couple KWA airsoft guns, which all utilize a blowback feature to replicate some sort of recoil. For the first time on this channel, I did charge Mantis a product review rate, which again, I have never done before in any of my other reviews, but Mantis paid me $850 for this review, which directly contributes to supporting the channel and brings me closer to pursuing this as a full-time job. I didn't charge KWA anything because they sent over 3 guns for free, which I thought was fair enough. I personally don't want to have to charge money for reviews, but until I get a couple more solid sponsors for the channel as a whole, I may have to, but I will always disclose when I do charge anything to ensure full transparency. I do want to address any concerns about bias, because I know some of you think money equals unauthentic, but while I could have kept this information to myself, I chose to share it openly. This transparency is a reflection of my commitment to honesty, ensuring that my thoughts and opinions remain authentically my own. So you can do with that what you will. Now, onto the actual best way to support the channel, which is by becoming a member of the kit page, where I provide discount codes and organize all of the links to everything I talk about on the channel. So take advantage of that if you want. I'd also like to thank Optics Planet. Use code GUNMEN7 on their site, or again, become a member of the kit page and get a bigger discount code for them there. With all of that out of the way, let's start with figuring out, is the Blackbeard X worth it? I think it just depends on the person and the type of training you're doing. I think this thing is awesome, and I can see the value that it brings to the table. First off, the quality feels and looks good. It seems like they really tried to source high-end parts, and the case it comes in is nice too, even though once I took it out, I never touched the case again. When it comes to everything that comes in the box, you get the case that everything comes in, the power bank, which is the mag-shaped part, the laser and trigger reset part, which is what you replace your bolt carrier group with, and a little USB charging cable. Then you can download the app for free if you want to utilize their training platform. With the battery bank, while it's charging, you have 5 bars with one that will flash until it's full, and a full charge lasts for a really long time. You can adjust the laser with the included Allen key. This gold ring here indicates the left to right, and the hole above it is where you can adjust the top to bottom. You can adjust the laser to hit exactly where your red dot is zeroed pretty easily by setting it to the constant on feature, which is indicated with this plus sign right here. You just press that down, and then you point it at the wall at the distance you're planning on training from, and then adjust the laser till it matches your optics dot. Then you can switch it back to the monetary on mode, where it will only show the laser when you take your shot. I honestly don't use the app very much, but I can see where a lot of people would be interested in it, as it records all of your data and you can basically train using all the drills they have, which I can see being pretty cool. Maybe I'll use it more in the future, but for now what I mostly use this for is both unconventionally reload training, which I'm not sure if this is bad for it or not, but I've been doing it and it's been fine so far. But basically what I'll do is I'll take my shot, manipulate the safety, release the mag, replace the mag, and I'll also train with it for general dry fire weapon manipulation training. I personally think this has helped me a ton when it came to my reloads, and I think this has huge benefits for that alone. I also love to use this as an example for those first-time shooters to help them safely and effectively understand trigger control. One of the principles I always talk about when I'm helping a new shooter get into shooting more accurately is knowing where the wall, the brake, and the reset all are. And this is super easily demonstrated when you are dealing with recoil or having to manually manipulate the charging handle in between shots. You can just say, this is the wall, here's where the brake is. When you take your shot, hold the trigger to the rear until you realign your sight picture, feel the reset of the trigger until the wall, and then from there restart the process. That's so easily explained with this and helps anybody train to get better with trigger control. I've also noticed that it's a good way to reset my brain to ensure I'm not pulling when taking my shots, so that's been pretty helpful when it translates to live fire. I also love the fact that it helps me dry fire more in general. Before I got this, I would get bored pretty quick and maybe dry fire for about 10 minutes. skills, but there's something super satisfying about having your trigger auto reset and seeing the laser impact where you're aiming. It does make me want to dry fire longer, and I genuinely think that contributes to developing better skills on the range. Of course, dry fire means almost nothing unless you're pairing it with live fire training, but I do think that the Blackbeard is a fantastic product that's worth the investment. I could say more about it, but honestly, you won't truly know if something's going to work for you unless you try it. I think it's a fantastic and very practical and great way to dry fire train. So pick one up if you see the value in it like I did. Moving on to another form of dry fire I wanted to talk about with airsoft guns. Is a KWA Blowback Airsoft gun equal to something like the Blackbeard, and are they worth it in general? Again, I think it depends on the training you're doing and what you're looking to achieve. For me, I think both of these are great for different reasons, and I would almost recommend that you own both. KWA has done an absolutely insane job at creating an airsoft gun that feels almost identical to a rifle I would train with on the range, and their makeshift recoil impulse feels phenomenal. I personally think there are so many reasons why you should own an airsoft rifle like this, but the main one obviously is training with something that offers a very similar feedback as your real rifle. Now, nothing of course is going to be perfectly similar to live fire, but again, KWA did wonders on this LM4D gas blowback rifle. Not only do you get the feedback of the rifle, but you also get some type of round leaving the barrel so you can more accurately diagnose your flaws in shooting and improve. You also have the ability to train with others and actually shoot each other, which is where a lot of good lessons can be learned. I grew up going to airsoft matches with my older brother where I felt like I definitely learned a lot of valuable lessons and skills, so don't underestimate the power of those as long as they are well planned with the right people and with specific goals in mind to get better. Airsoft guns have come a long way, and I've been really impressed with KWA and everything they do to create something that is very close to real. The weight, the materials, the functionality, it all assists in creating a training environment that feels as legit as possible, and all for a price that I think is really reasonable, especially in comparison to the Blackbeard X. Do I think one replaces the other? Not really. I just think that there are different tools for different reasons, but both offer a unique experience that I think can be really helpful. I think I'm going to have to do a full video and talk more about how I think airsoft can be a great way to train, but hopefully this gave you some ideas for how you can make dry fire training a little better and how you can improve your overall skills, as that's really why I'm making this video. I want you to be as prepared as possible in order to protect innocent life and those that you love. And I believe that starts with training in both live and dry fire scenarios. Again, I want to help make these things more available, so I beg for discount codes from the companies for you guys, which are available on the kit page. So become a member of the kit page and save some money. As always, there is more to come. I'm working on being able to upload more consistently, which I know many of you have been asking for. Until then, I'll see you in the next one.